had to bring the Stanley, hydration is the concentration. So if you're not hydrated, go get your water right now before we get into this episode. And yeah, I have to keep mine with me because today I am trying to finish this 40 ounce in a couple hours and then fill it up and go for another 40 ounce because 80 ounces is the key. That is my focus today. So I don't know what your focus is, but make sure hydration is in there somewhere. And if you hear me clear my throat, it's just allergies because allergies are allergying today. It's been a day. But welcome to Transform Perspective. Thank you for tuning into this episode. If you are new to the channel, whether that be YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, if you haven't seen my content and you're watching this episode, welcome. I'm happy to have you. And if you have watched my content, if you listen to my episodes, welcome back. So you may have seen on social media or just heard from people in person the topic of wasting your life or wasting your 20s or feeling like your time is wasted. It's come up a lot. I've seen a lot, and now I totally relate to that, and that is so valid to feel like your time was wasted or your energy or your attention or your creativity, whatever the case may be. You can feel like whatever it is has been wasted, and that is so valid. Especially when things don't go as planned or as expected. You can feel like it was just wasted, and it is so irritating because it's like, I could have been doing this. I could have been there. I could have been in this place. I could have been somewhere else. I could have been with someone else. I could have been doing something else. And you have all these, man, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And it sucks. It really does. I totally get it. But as I was like coming across this and hearing this from people, it's like the first thing that popped in my mind was nothing was wasted if you learned from it. That's kind of been the thing that's coming up, especially when it comes to feeling like you've wasted your time, feeling like you've wasted your life, feeling like you wasted your energy and attention on things that maybe you didn't have to experience or spend so much energy and attention putting, your time and effort into. But it is totally okay to feel that while also seeing like, oh my goodness, maybe it wasn't totally wasted if I did learn something from it or if I grew from it. And a lot of the times we are growing and learning even if we don't see it. So it's not necessarily that it was wasted at all. So yeah, that's just kind of been my take on that. But I've been seeing it a lot, especially with videos and people sharing their experience and what not to do in your 20s, what not to do in your 30s, what not to do when you're doing this. And they're kind of giving like help and advice, which is like so helpful. It really is. But I just think the idea that you wasted your time is kind of like contradicting, because especially like when you're trying to help someone or whatever, it's just kind of like, did you waste it? Because you wouldn't be, giving me this advice, or you wouldn't be here, or you wouldn't be who you are today if any of it was wasted. If any of your time, if any of your attention, if any of your creativity, if any of your money was wasted, it's just kind of like you wouldn't be who you are, where you are, with what you are. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not really wasted if you can learn something from it. And this can apply to your life. Some people feel like they've wasted their life. Maybe they should have went for that career, or they should have taken this path instead, or maybe they shouldn't have spent their money on this, or shoulda, woulda, coulda. It could be a life thing, looking back. It could be maybe an age thing, a certain time in your life you feel like maybe you should have invested more time in your creativity or your hobbies or spending time with family. You didn't do that, It could be a relationship thing. It could be with romantic connections, or maybe like your friends, or like I said, your family, or your kids, or whatever the case may be, your pets. Sometimes we feel like I should have done this differently, or this was wasted, or this was a waste of my time. And it's just like, no, it wasn't, as much as it feels like it, and it does. It's like, no, it wasn't. Because there was something that you took away from that. It was something you learned from that. It was something you grew because of whatever that thing is, even if it's the smallest thing. I know for me, it can be like, oh, I'm editing a video and then like the whole thing gets like messed up or something goes wrong, because technology does what technology does. It can be helpful, but it can also be a pain in the behind. And so like with editing videos, it's like something could go wrong and I'm like, dang, I gotta start the whole thing over. That was a waste of my time. Like, I can't get those couple hours back, and it sucks. It really does. But it's like, now I know. Maybe it's something I did wrong, maybe it's something I missed, and now I'm like, oh, okay, I should have turned that on, or I should have had more storage space, or I should have did this. And it's like, okay, I know next time it's not going to happen again, because I promise you I'm not going to do it over. And so you kind of like learn from it, even if it's small. But having that perspective, I feel like it helps. It really does help. It does not take away the irritation and, the anger in the moment sometimes, but it does help you kind of just have a different perspective of whatever that thing is. Like I said, it could apply to many different things, but I feel like nothing is ever wasted. Even if it doesn't feel like that, there's a reasoning behind it, or even if there isn't a reasoning, it is what it is, So it's like you took something away from that, you learned something from that, and what can you do next time, or what can you do moving forward, So I feel like that can definitely be helpful, and that perspective it's helped me a lot. And I wouldn't even think like that before, but now it's just like, it's helpful. It's really helpful. I know it's easier to just be upset and angry about certain things, even like the smallest things, like I say, like your video messing up, or, your day, small things about your day. Maybe you didn't get to get everything done at the grocery store. Maybe you weren't able to book an appointment like you wanted to, or, travel, or the list goes on and on. But it's never wasted. It's never wasted. You learn from it, you learn your lesson, and then you keep it moving. You keep it pushing. And so I feel like that perspective and that attitude can really help you. It can be damaging if you don't address whatever you're feeling in the moment, and you kind of just like, oh, it's okay. I'm not saying in that way, like, push it down, act like it didn't happen, act like you're not mad and upset. Like, no, be mad, be upset, be irritated, because you're going to be. It's human emotions, and it's part of the experience too, is just feeling what you feel, but then also having this kind of broader perspective and looking at it different than maybe you would before, in a way that, you're not holding on to those emotions. You just let it flow through you. Yeah, you're mad. Yeah, you're angry, but what are you going to do next time? It kind of reminds me of like going back to like elementary or like middle school, when you're faced with challenges and stuff like that, and you're asked a question, or I've been asked the questions by a teacher and stuff, like, okay, well, this is how you feel now, but what are you going to do next time? Or like, if you get in trouble, it's like, yeah, you hit Johnny and that wasn't a good decision, and what are you going to do next time? It kind of reminds me of that. It's just kind of just being gentle with yourself too. And like I said, being a kid and, being asked those simple questions can be so helpful. So if you feel like you've wasted your time, if you feel like you've wasted your life, if you feel like you put so much energy and attention into something, whether that be a craft, a hobby, your job, your passion, or even people, and you feel like, dang, I really wasted my time with that, or like I could have been doing something else, or if you feel that coulda, woulda, shoulda vibe, it's okay. Definitely feel that. It is valid. It is valid, and it is irritating, but at the same time, you live and you learn. That's also another way to look at it. You can look at life and these things that you go through and these lessons that you learn in many different ways. And I just think it's truly important to look at the negative while also looking at the positive, and just finding that balance, which is, it is what it is. It's irritating, it's annoying, but then you also learn and grow from it. And it's like, would you want to be that old version of yourself that didn't learn those things, or are you okay with who you are today? The person who knows better now, the person who has learned, and the person who can help other people now that they've had those experiences, now that they've learned those lessons, even if it's small or big, drastic or minor, you can be able to like take those things and those experiences that you learn and help other people who are in those situations, or warn them beforehand, or just share your own advice, or keep it to yourself and just know for the next time. It's like, It doesn't go wasted. It doesn't go unnoticed also, because you see it. Other people may not see it, what you've been through, what you've gone through, even small or big, but you see it, you know, you have experienced it. So it's not freaking wasted. Nothing is wasted if you learn something from it. Now, if you feel like you didn't learn nothing from it, that's fine. Okay. It's fine. But if you can be able to say, okay, well, I learned this from it, or I took this away from it, or I'm a better person because of it, then, take that, what you learned, and keep it pushing, keep it moving. And if you're still mad about it, be mad. I don't know. That's just something that I just wanted to share, because I see it in videos. I hear people talk about it, and I'm just like, I have totally felt that, and it's irritating, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I wouldn't have wanted to do anything any different, because I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be where I am, and I learned something from it. And that's exactly what I feel like we're here to do, is learn and grow and just live life. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this topic. Have you ever felt like, your time was wasted, or your life was wasted, or just something was wasted? Is there anything that you would do differently? And how do you feel now about who you are and how far you've come? Let me know in the comments. You ain't got to get that deep, but if you feel like just sharing something, feel free to do that. Don't forget to subscribe to Transform Perspective on YouTube, follow on Spotify and TikTok, share with your loved ones and anyone who you think would benefit from these episodes or any of my other content. And don't forget about the 15-minute guided meditation in the description below. It is free. You just click the link and it's sent to your email. So definitely check that out. It's a freebie. Like this video, and I hope the rest of your day is amazing. I don't know whenever you're watching this, but I hope your day is great and you're doing well. Remember, I almost forgot this, but remember, it is not about perfection, but committing to expansion. Have a transformed perspective. Nothing's wasted. Nothing's ever wasted.